Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Link to the Past Randomizer. As we continue on day number 10 of the group stage of this tournament, we have what a matchup here it is in Group I, the winner finals. Mr. fcoughlin on your left-hand side, In the Name of DT on the right-hand side. I'm Adirondack Rick, being joined by Slim Kirby. What do we got going on here?
Well, as you mentioned, this is a match between fcoughlin and In the Name of DT. They are currently fighting for the first slot in the bracket stage. These members from Group I. This is the second game of this series. There are 3 games in total. It's a best of 3. fcoughlin did manage to take game 1 in a very tightly contested race. In the Name of DT can fight back, though, and he will fight back to see if he can force a game 3 and take the spot in brackets for himself. So we'll have a very entertaining and exciting race here. Looking forward to see how this will play out. And yeah, let's do this.
Well, you know what happened the last time we were on commentary here, Slim?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Let's hope there's nothing on pedestal again. Or maybe let's do. Who knows?
Should be a real fun match coming up. What would you like to see at the Uncle?
I would like to see a Canis Samaria start on the Uncle. I always find those, one of the easier escape sequences to do, I think. But it's really cool to see how they utilize the cane in those scenarios.
I have a big objection to this seed hash, by the way.
Why is that?
One of these items do not belong.
Why are you so against the mushroom, Rick?
I'm not against the mushroom. I'm against that mirror shield that we're never going to get.
Oh, that's fair, yeah.
All right, here we go, friends.
Well, do you fancy a swim, Rick? Because we got some flippers in the first chest.
I don't know what you're referring to.
I'm referring to the fact that we got the flippers in the first chest. I'm not calling attention to anything else.
I really don't know what you're referring to.
We could argue about this all day. Let's just see what the Uncle has for us.
I see we have a map check. Oh, we have a bomb start.
Okay, bomb start, not the Canis Samaria, but this will be a very interesting weapon to use to get through the escape sequence. As you can see, we only have 10 bombs, and we need to defeat a certain number of enemies with those bombs without running out of them. So it should be very entertaining to see how our runners handle these next couple of rooms, as we also find the shovel inside the Uncle chest as well.
Shovel is kind of one of those fun things where you have to find some way of routing it at some stage in this, but for now, it comes down to how well these two know their bomb strats.
Yeah, we'll have the first test here in just a moment. We have a blue guard we'll need to defeat with 2 bombs. What's kind of interesting is I use kind of a corner strat for this, where I just leave a bomb in the corner and just attack the guard with one of them and then bring him over to the other bomb. But both of our runners have their own way of taking it out, and they both get it done really quickly. Okay, so we have the second blue guard room here.
And there are certain strats that you can use for some of these rooms. There's the double corner bomb strat, I think, is something that I noticed when one of the runners we don't have in this tournament, but they've been playing Randomizer in the past. Giselle Shaft ended up showing off the ways that you could do some bomb strats in Hyrule Castle back when we had the last main standard tournament back in 2018. So DT trying to make his way around the guard. Fred's having a little bit of an issue with the guard as well. In fact, I think he just lost 2 of his pots, so he had to go ahead and lead. So this is going to give DT the little bit of a lead right here as we get the big key off the guard, and we get 3 more bombs, a little refill for the ones we spent earlier.
Yeah, that is very nice. Now, one of the good things about having the bomb start at Uncle is, if you use your bombs wisely, you are going to have a bomb for the very end of the escape sequence, so you can check the 3 chests at the very end. In other starts, you may not get those bombs. You might have to rely on getting prize packs or, in worst case scenario, coming back to the escape sequence later on to get those chests. So since both runners are able to save a lot of their bombs, they don't have to worry about that, but they do have one more obstacle in front of them in order to get those items, and that will be the key rat in the sewers.
So 8 bombs. We're definitely going to be holding on to that bomb for the back of escape, and hoping that we get ourselves some good goodies out of this. So far, the flippers is one good find. The shovel makes you wonder, what else are we going to get?
That's true. Having the flippers is nice. That will give us some pretty nice early light roll checks. Shovel, you can easily route that in with the rest of Kakariko as well. So, honestly, not too bad of items to find here in the escape sequence.
So as we make our way to the back of the escape here, 447, given the problems that both of these runners had on the escape sequence here, bomb starts is not necessarily the best for optimal speed. You don't feel too bad. I mean, you're not going to lose a race because of escape.
That's true. I mean, it does help to kind of get a good start, I guess. But, this is just the early game. We still have the mid game and, of course, the end game with all the execution that'll be happening in that section as well. So there's still plenty of this race to play.
And just as a forenote, we do know that there's a little bit of a desync, and we're working on that issue right now as we speak. So bear with us as we make our way to the back 3 of escape. We have DT getting back there first of these 2 runners, and in the back 3 of escape, what do we find? We find 10 arrows, 20 rupees, and 50 rupees. Kakariko money.
Yep, getting a little close to that bottle vendor. Just need 5 more rupees, and we'll more than likely get that inside the first few checks in Kakariko. So bottle vendor not going to be a concern for our runners whatsoever.
All right, over here to the right-hand side to pull that switch, and DT's going to be leaving. 609's not a bad time with the bomb start, given the issues. Fred had a little bit of an issue, had to go back down to the cellar as we get the hammer in the final chest. That's a good find, but with Fred having a couple of issues, had to go back down to the cellar during his trip on downstairs to respawn another jar. So, you would take what you get here. Sixes in the escape with the bomb escape is not that bad. Hammer start's a pretty good start here. 2 more items for Dark World access. Maybe we'll get in Kakariko Village. A lot of items there, Slim.
There are. Not only do we have 2 sections or 2 areas that have 5 items each, but we got bottle vendor, chicken coop, the tavern. You can get some intel on the southern part of Kakariko with the library and race game. So a lot of good things can be found in Kakariko early on. Unfortunately, on the Lumberjack, we don't have any required items there, so if we are beating Aghanim in this seed, it'll be purely for Dark World access and not for any progression on Lumberjack Ledge.
Absolutely. So we see Fred doing his usual strat. He does not like to check the tree until he absolutely needs to, until he at least has a trip up to Death Mountain on the agenda, or has the boots that would put it into logic and various other things. But we do find the hook shot as the item falling down the hole into the thieves' hideaway.
You know, we're actually getting pretty close to all we need for swap. At this point, we just need the mirror and, of course, just general Dark World access. That could be one of the first dungeons we might be dipping into, again, assuming if we find that mirror and Dark World access soon enough. We have the first of our heavily dense locations here in Kakariko Blind's Hideout. We do get the bow, a bottle, some more money, and we have one more item here in the back. Are we going to get the book? Nope, get the glove. I wanted the book because we had 2 items that start with BO, so I thought that maybe we could get a third one there. But the glove is also good. That's another one of our Dark World items, as we mentioned before, so that's just need that Moon Pearl for Dark World access now.
Yeah, and getting that bow is really, really nice. Or not that bow, but getting that bottle is really, really nice, because now we can lump that together with a sick kid while we're here in town.
Mm-hmm. As we are checking the Kakariko well, another heavily dense location, we do find the sword, our first sword upgrade in this seed, along with some more money, some health, and more health.
Getting a 20 from the bottle vendor, and there's the first of Fred's famous bombs.
That's true. Fred has somewhat of a grudge against many of the NPCs here in Hyrule, so we'll likely be seeing a lot of bombs being placed on certain NPCs' heads.
Yeah, but he's not going to do one for the sick kid coming up here. I know he's going to want to, but not with one bomb and race game still to come. Although he decides to still spend it on the sick kid after getting some money. All right, well, we'll see how that turns out, Fred.
Yeah, he better hope there's nothing on the race game.
Oh, okay.
Bailed out. Bailed out.
The game knows.
Oh my gosh. You can't write this stuff, folks.
You know, it's like earlier with Filion talking about somebody needing arrows, and they get arrows in that next chest. 20 rupees. Right there in the library. Again, bear with us. We are trying to fix the audio desync. All right, Fred now going to see what we get out of this shovel. And it's another sword.
Okay, not a bad find. You know, that's gonna definitely, it's gonna heavily just give us more advantageous solutions for attacking enemies here in the overworld. We have the hammer, which does a lot of damage as it is, but the sword's a little more dependable. You don't have to worry about actually having it equipped, as you always do, so definitely good to find out.
So, as we now get ourselves over towards the eastern area, it is indeed a crystal, and we do not have the lamp, but in this stage of the tournament, these runners, they are comfortable doing the dark rooms in the Eastern Palace. DT finding out that it's a lonely single arrow that is on Lake Hylia Island.
I feel bad for that arrow. The arrow's going to be left there alone.
And therefore, we'll continue this and give us just a second here as we find out what else is going on in our world. You know, the Sahasrahla had something, by the way, Slim, right?
I'm sure he did. I did not get to see that, unfortunately.
Okay, well, we're being told that there was a lamp at the back here in regards to Sahasrahla, but we're working on that. Oh no, we're talking about how dark this layout is at this stage. We're still working on it. Slim, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing, could use a lamp right about now, but couldn't we all?
Well, we definitely do need a lamp. We still need a lamp. I can hear audio. All right, well, I guess we can talk about what we're looking at. We're looking at something else.
Yeah, we're definitely looking at something.
No, when I mentioned we were going to be doing some silent strats here during our pre-race talk, I wasn't expecting this.
I honestly wasn't either.
So, yeah. Hi. Yo, we have a race.
Okay, here we go. So we're in Eastern Palace. What do we got?
All right, there we go. We're in a dark room. These two are in the same room at the very, very same time. Fred got the key. DT now has the key. They're both going upstairs. We're almost in sync here, Slim. What a time to come back.
Yeah, that's true. When we left it, I believe it was Fred, he was just a little bit ahead going into Eastern Palace. DT's definitely caught up the rest of the way, and they are literally in the same room at the same time.
Let's see who has the faster Lammo, or not the Lammo, the Armos Knife fight.
Now, if these runners are familiar with their no major glitches speedrun, this should be a pretty fun and quick fight.
Here we go. Fred just barely in the lead. Although that's based on timer here. Looks like DT might actually be in the lead.
Oh, yeah, DT does get the quick kill there.
Yes, he does, and Fred had a little bit of an issue there. DT first done with Eastern. That means he wins the race, right?
Well, he's the first one to get a crystal, but there's 7 of those, so it'd be probably closer to tell then instead of right now.
Alrighty. DT walking back. He is heading over to Sahasrahla. We are going to actually get to see what we have at Sahasrahla.
Oh, okay, that's nice. That's nice of DT to hold on for us. Like, he could have gone here first, but decided to check this out before, as we get some bombs, a heart, and another heart. So
Nada.
We didn't really miss much, did we?
No, we did not, Slim. Fred is heading over here towards the mountain, and maybe DT is going to be in tow just as well. As we finally get these two synced up, we are finally on audio sync, we're finally on video sync, and here we go. DT looks like he's about ready to go farm himself 225 rupees. This is the strat we call the hula hand room. Where he's just going to bomb himself in here. The game doesn't know exactly where it wants to put Link, so it puts him in this room to prevent from there being a big crash here. And DT, as a result, can go ahead and load him up with some rupees to put him at 450. As he's trying to figure out what exactly this logic wants to do, as Fred has bypassed this logic by going into a dark room by way of the Death Mountain Ascent.
And the good thing about Fred's play is he does have the hook shot, and he does have the hammer. So he is going to be able to check out the east side of Death Mountain, and he will actually be able to take a few steps in the Tower of Hera, which is another crystal. So he is going to be making some forward progress on that front. DT still kind of following more of the logic of the seed, which I honestly don't think is a bad idea. We got the flippers as our very first item. We can, check the Zora area. We have all the South Shore stuff as well. So he's just kind of trying to find... Ooh. He's finding something that'll progress the seed, and he's going to progress a lot faster as he finds the boots.
That's a pretty good find right there for DT, as Fred is going to be walking up the mountain over here. So Fred, with this little bit of different of a route here, is actually going to be finding himself doing a little bit of walking. Hopefully he'll get back to the dam sooner than later to get those boosts, because the boost is the kind of thing where the longer you go without it, the bigger it adds up to your deficit.
Yeah, this is true, and look at DT finding another item that's going to actually kind of progress his seed in a different fashion. He finds the Moon Pearl, the last of our Dark World items, so he can now start exploring the Dark World if he so chooses. Also finds the Quake Medallion as well. That's going to give him potential access to either Turtle Rock or Misery Mire, assuming that is the medallion required to open those. So DT finding some good items here.
He sure is, and I think in this case, it would be a really good thing if Fred found the mids up here in the mountain, because I think DT might put off doing the mountain until he has those mids in his arsenal.
This is true, yeah.
That's unfortunate for Fred that he didn't get anything out of this Paradox Cave, so as he makes his way over here past the mini mole dorms, he's going to be going into the Tower of Hera. Now, technically, you might not be able to beat this dungeon depending on where that big key turns out to be, but not with the tech that we call Hera Pot.
That is correct. There is a minor glitch that we are allowed to utilize in this tournament that basically allows you to skip the big key door in Tower of Hera. So if the big key does so happen to be in the basement, which we can't exactly get to right now since we don't have a fire source to get that item, we can use the Hera pot to kind of clip into the pot here at the very first floor of Tower of Hera, which will take us up to the pretty much the second to last floor of the dungeon. So it's a pretty nifty little tech that you can use to kind of bypass some of the items here. The only caveat is you will, of course, be missing the big chest unless you happen to get the big key somewhere.
DT hoping to just give himself a couple of extra rupees here so he can buy the Zora item while he's heading up here. Fred pulling off the Hera pot without much of an issue. So he's just going to drop on down here, see what we have in this one chest that's available to us, as DT's trying to get himself one more rupee. One more rupee. Can he get it?
He's shoveling. He's destroying Zoras. He's doing...
There it is!
There it is! He gets his 500.
By the way, did Fred get anything downstairs in the fourth floor?
Didn't seem like he did, anyway.
Well, Fred's about ready to face off against the Mole Dorm, as DT is about to get his return of 300 rupees for that 500 rupee investment. Fred got a piece of heart in that one chest, according to our help in chat, and he's going to get to find out that there is an item in the big chest, and he decides that he's going to reward the seed by laying a bomb at the corpse of Moldorm.
I like to think he was just trying to blow up the entire Tower of Hera with that.
That makes sense, and there's DT getting 20 rupees after he had already dug up a bunch of singles for the purchase here. So he's going to get ready to go into the Dark World. Fred's about to go into Spiral Cave. This mountain climb for Fred has turned out to be very, very unfortunate. He's gotten absolutely nothing out of it, and now he's going to be taking a long walk around the spiral.
Yes, but there's, you know, quite the potential for a great item to be here. I mean, wouldn't you agree, Rick?
There still is that potential, yes. But in this case, no.
Fair enough.
Game number 2 between fcoughlin and In the Name of DT. Fred playing as his custom Link sprite. And DT, who's he playing as today?
I believe he's playing as the Neil Peart sprite.
Neil Peart being the famous drummer for that Canadian rock group Rush. Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, they are. Fred's about to get the bad news about the boots being here, and he's probably going to be saying his famous phrase, son of a monkey, once he does see that, because then he realized he could have had that for the mountain climb. And then he'll probably say some more words when he sees that the Moon Pearl, he leaves a bomb right there, that we knew that was coming.
Well, the seed has been quite generous, and I say this as DT gets more bombs in the first chest in Thieves Town, with giving Fred more bombs whenever he does happen to blow up a place or person in this game. So at least we know he'll never run out.
Well, DT currently inside of Pendant Thieves Town. We'll see if Fred decides he's going to skip this after the mountain climb turned out to be nothing of importance for him. Gets the Quake Medallion, and there's the Moon Pearl. Does Fred? Yeah, he does leave a bomb for the NPC. We knew that was coming. He does appear that he is going to be heading over here to the Ice Rod Cave and then over to the Zora checks in just a moment as well. DT getting... How many items did he get in the first? I saw 2 items.
I think I only saw 2 as well.
Bombs in that first chest, that heart container in that last chest.
Yeah, looks like he is diving into Thieves Town a little more, see if he can maybe grab something else. And I know that kind of skipping like the rest of Thieves Town is a play I've been seeing a lot in a lot of these races. It's, you know, it's a pendant dungeon. You don't necessarily want to clear it if you don't have to. It's not a very long dungeon, but it is interesting to see him kind of go through here. I think it's kind of more due to DT's, the runner you'll see, like, doesn't want to leave too many things behind. He's very thorough with his checks and everything, and kind of leaves like his execution to kind of back that more careful side up, because he does have a pretty solid execution as well.
In the Name of DT, recent inductee to the Sub 90 Club for Link to the Past, wasn't he?
That is correct.
Congratulations to In the Name of DT. Now we can talk to you about your font, because we know you always seem to chime in with comments about that when you hear about people talking about that. The Mr. Saturn font.
Yeah, it's a perfectly eligible and perfectly legible timer font. You can read it.
I mean, I can perfectly read that. It's 2645 right now.
Yep, same here. Well, now it's 2649.50, but you get it.
All right, Fred about to get scammed, and I'm sure he'll leave Zora the how do you do with by way of a bomb that he'll make his way into the Dark World. I wouldn't be surprised to see if Fred maybe opts to go through the Hype Cave way, but no, he's not. He's going to go Sanctuary.
Okay, so At this point, our runner is pretty much following, Fred's following the footsteps of DT anyway. DT still has, obviously, all the mountain checks to go. But
And DT, if he can get those mitts, that would be something to pay off dividends. That would be one fewer mountain climb. And we do know that some races can be determined based on how many times you have to climb that mountain.
yeah, this is true, and that could be another reason why DT didn't opt to make that mountain check. Kind of wait until he gets some of the other items he might need to get a more thorough clear of the Death Mountain area.
Now, I'm surprised Fred did not opt to do this when he ended up going up to the mountain the first trip up, but now with the boots in hand, like I said earlier, he's going to just see that it's a hard container, nothing that he needs. Did he not leave that Zora a bomb? He's got 3 of them still.
Yeah, I don't think he did, actually.
I guess that's bottle number 2, and nothing inside of that Thieves Town. So if Fred does not go into Thieves Town at all, he could actually make that pay out for him. And we must have found the book somewhere, didn't we?
Yeah, I believe we did, actually. I want to say it was on the mountain.
Oh, that's right. It was on the mountain. So I'm not sure what this is. Fred's taking the scenic way over here to the Dark World. There we go. Yeah, it's on Spectacle Rock.
Yeah,
You need a mirror to get that. That's right. I thought he was going for a ped check, and I'm like, wait a second here. But so Fred now making his way into the Dark World, and he's going to take a look at that map, and he does see the pendants here. 5-6 over the Turtle Rock and Swamp Palace, and the pendants include Palace of Darkness and also Thieves Town. So it's going to be interesting to see where the seed wants these runners to go for all of these items that we're still lacking for go mode. A lot of them, actually.
And that's true. It is still very early on. I mean, we are just approaching the 30-minute mark of the seed. You know, sometimes seeds can be generous, give you like a whole bunch of things, and then you're just looking for one thing. Other times it's kind of like a slow drip where it just kind of, you know, gives you items as you're going through. It kind of seems to be more like on that latter half of things, at least for right now anyway.
So we know we definitely need to have the mirror for the palace, or rather for Desert Palace, as Fred takes a death to the Gyptos. They just would not get out of his way. And DT gets magic powder off Stumpy.
Well, that is another check that DT can make whenever he gets back to the light world. Can check the magic bat and see what item he might have. But we are going to see the Hype Cave check, which you alluded to earlier. Another location with 5 chests, so a lot of potential here for items we can find.
And now Fred takes another death, but this time it was intended. As we get ourselves some money, some money, some money, some money! That's not money! Almost all money.
The slow build to that shield, though. Okay, looks like
DT's heading on over towards the Palace of Darkness. Gonna check the pyramid first. If he can find something to progress this seed, that would at least skip him from having to go into yet another pendant dungeon at this stage. As Fred goes over here, finds the big key, so that's nothing still. Have we found an item inside of the Skull Woods? I want to say no. What is that? Nothing important. Oh, lamb!
okay. Well, that puts Tower of Hera in logic, but as we know, Fred's already completed that. But I think there is an item still left in there.
Yeah, there is. And there's the other item. That's 50 rupees. So that's both items inside of that Skull Woods. That lamp is a very interesting lamp to find right there. DT now heading on over towards the catfish. And so now it's just crazy to think of where the seed wants these runners to go progression-wise.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier about the potential dip into another pendant dungeon. At this point, Palace of Darkness is probably the best bet to find something, just because, you know, you've got 5 items over there. You know, it is a pendant, unfortunately, but it is also the green pendant, which does give us another item check as well on top of that. So it's looking like Palace of Darkness might actually have something for us today.
What do you think it has?
You were talking about the mitts earlier. I think mitts could definitely be something, or it could be the other item that starts with MI. It could be the mirror. think it's going to be one of those two items, honestly.
I think that I like those odds too. So we'll see if Fred chooses to go into Thieves Town. And the answer right now seems to be he may do the first 4. If he only does the first 4, then he may gain an advantage over DT. But then there's one other caveat. That thing that was mentioned at the very beginning of this race that you and I did commentary for a few days ago that actually turned out to be very important.
That's right, there is the fact that this could end up being a pedestal seed. Now, still a ways away from that being in logic, but, it could still very well be something. I believe we're only really just away in the Desert Palace from that being in logic at this point.
So, after spending 110 rupees to get in here, and the name of DT is inside of the Palace of Darkness, 5 items inside, plus it's the green pendant, which is also worth an item as its own way, by way of 6. So, Fred now, decision time, and it does look like he is going to balance DT's decision to actually go through here. So, therefore, he is going to finish this dungeon. DT will get us our first indication of what's going on here. But I think we just found a big item inside of that first chest inside of the Palace of Darkness. The mitts in the first chest, the shooter's room.
Well, hey, that is one of those items we talked about, so yeah, that could be a way to progress this seed. I mean, the mitts, that will give us there's some fetch quests in the overworld that could be of relevance here. There's obviously the east side of Dark Death Mountain that we can now access to. Those are the big ones at this point, but yeah, that's we have some more options with those.
Yeah, Super Bunny Cave could have something at this point, and also Hookshot Cave could have something, and I'm almost banking on one of those two having something important right there, as DT ended up swinging and missing on one of those bombs, but does get it on the second bomb, as now, how much further do you want to take this dungeon?
I think at this point, because he got the mitts and not the mirror, I think kind of sticking around is not the worst idea, because I feel like the mirror would actually open up a whole crystal dungeon, so I think that would be a little more appealing to potentially dip out early for just one item. And there it is. Okay, so
Palace of Darkness was the answer. And big time it was. The mirror and the mitts inside of there, and DT is not done just yet. He wants more.
He wants it all. He wants it all, and he wants it now.
Well, shout out to Slim Kirby, who I'll be angry tweeting tomorrow, and that song is still stuck in my head.
Oh, you're my best friend, Rick.
Trying to get more songs stuck in my head, I see. Can we come up with some Rush songs, please, since DT's running with the Neil Peart sprite here? Because I will choose free will.
Oh my god!
3 big items!
And see, that actually, I mean, assuming that Turtle Rock does have a Quake opening, that puts potentially a check or two, or maybe even a couple in Turtle Rock now as well. Again, assuming Quake's the medallion.
That's a compass. That's not what we need. Fred's going to loop his way around over here, and we'll see if he does go into the Palace of Darkness. DT on here at the bottom right gets the big key. So far, the mitts, the mirror, and the cane of Samaria in here. Those are bombs. There is an item on Helmazar. Does DT want to push it? Yes, he will. He is going to actually push this one as Fred says hi to all of us.
Aw, hi, Fred.
And gets the dig on number 18. So, speaking of Rush references for In the Name of DT, big money in this Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, I mean, 3 items in a pendant dungeon. Just 1 pendant dungeon. That's pretty incredible. You know, it makes me wonder if maybe the reason why DT is finishing this is, you know, maybe he's thinking, well, what if my opponent only gets 1 or even just 2 of the items, but not the 3rd one? What if he knocks out early? Maybe I should finish this up just in case, just to cover my bases, in case there's, you know, magically a 4th item in here. Maybe the pedestal could be involved, like.
And there's also that possibility, because you remember, he was on commentary for my race against Technolink back on Sunday, where I didn't know of the knowledge of the pedestal being needed, and I noped out of a pendant dungeon without killing the boss, and that ended up costing me time in the end. And maybe, just maybe, has that in his mind.
Yeah, this is one of the things I do really like about DT's gameplay when it comes to Randomizer, is that, you know, he is very thorough. He doesn't like leaving stuff behind, so he tends to not do that. And like, he kind of uses his own experiences, whether it's through his other races or through just even commentary, like you said, and, you know, kind of uses his execution to back up, like, kind of those things that he learns as he goes through Randomizer. So
Fred is heading straight for the Palace of Darkness without checking the pyramid or catfish, and maybe that's where Fred will gain a little bit of time. Don't forget, Fred will have to go back up that mountain at some point in time, whereas DT may be able to do it in one go. He stores up the spin speed here, which will help him out with the hammer's hits onto the mask here, trying to do all the damage that he possibly can. 5 hearts, so he does need to be a little careful, but he does do a good job to despawn that fireball down to 3 hearts. Gonna still need to be careful. There we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Helma's down. What does Helma give us? Item number 5 of the dungeon. Oh my goodness!
4 items!
Oh my goodness!
4 required items in Palace of Darkness. Pendant Palace of Darkness.
Again, big money in this Palace of Darkness, and all it cost you is 110 rupees to get inside. Now watch Sahasrara have something big.
Oh my gosh.
If he has the flute, if Sahasrara has the flute, I'm out of here, Slim.
I think Sahasrara can just, like, retire after this. Like.
Nope, just 20 rupees. But 4 big items inside of this Palace of Darkness. So all eyes now are on Fred. He has to finish this dungeon out. We now know that he has to do this in complete dungeon.
Yeah, and, you know, like, he's, you know, the temptation is there to skip something. Like, once you get a couple of good finds, and there were some very good finds in here, you're going to be tempted to want to leave early. Like, that's there. That's going to be on the table.
DT, being the working man that he is heading on over to Ice Palace. This chat's going crazy with the Rush puns, and I love it.
It's great. Oh, this is great.
Not puns, but the Rush song titles.
Yeah. And it's like we said, like, all four of those items are all gonna be required. Like, in this crystal layout, all those items will be needed to finish the seed.
Absolutely. So Fred now has a decision now that he got the mitts and the mirror. Does he stay inside of this dungeon? So far, he still is. In the name of DT now, making his way over here to the right-hand side to do what we call the icebreaker technique. Does a little bit of a pause buffer, a little bit of a select buffer as well, trying to get himself to turn over to the left for 1 frame so he can walk through this platform. And there he goes. That is good. And he gets himself a map for the reward, but more importantly, he's over here on the right-hand side.
That's true, and you know that is a really efficient maneuver to use because you're going to be able to get that chest, this chest in this room, and the next room without needing to double back. It's very fast and efficient, especially for kind of full clearing this dungeon.
There's a key for DT here on the right-hand side. And a compass as well. Fred is making his way over towards Harmless Hellway, while he will be in just a moment. Thinking about his options. Getting hugged by the turtles, or the terrapins as we should call them. Piece of heart. And now DT sets up a bomb jump. Fred gets the cane of Samaria. He is continuing on. But he needs to make it to the very end of this dungeon.
One thing we are kind of seeing here is that, you know, because Fred was able to find the lamp, he is going to be able to get through these dark rooms a little bit faster than what DT was, just with having the novelty of being able to see through these rooms.
I mean, we were kind of not really focused on it, but DT did not have a bad terrapin room there.
Oh, definitely not, but
so
still.
Here's the big key there. Fred is continuing on, so he will get the fire rod.
Okay, that is good for Freddy. He's going to be staying in here.
Mushroom. Do you want a fetch quest? Because we just got one.
Nah, I'm good. You have a lot of items. We don't really need a fetch quest right now.
So Fred might be able to save a little bit of time on DT if he opts to just leave here and go. I don't know if this Ice Palace had paid out for DT, but it is a dungeon that we do need to do, and it is a good, safe decision to do because you're going to get the 3 items on pretty much your route to Cold Stair as opposed to that gamble with regards to Swamp Palace.
Yeah, that is true.
Alright, so Fred making his way over to Helmsar King, where we know the fire rod is going to show up, and DT finishes off the Cold Stair fight to get the 10 arrows. Nothing inside of here unless that mushroom leads to one of our items that we need for go mode. And we still have the potential of the ice rod showing up somewhere. The bombos and the ether, we don't know if we need them, but we definitely need the ice rod and flute before we can declare go mode for either of these runners.
This is true, and this will be kind of interesting. Like you said, DT was unable to find anything of major note in Ice Palace, you know, barring what the mushroom will end up giving us. If Fred chooses to go a different route, he could end up finding the next piece of the puzzle before DT, and that could, you know, still make a pretty significant difference in this race.
Fred has got to be careful not to take the death here down to 1.5, but he does swallow up his blue potion. DT making his way over here to Swamp Palace. I don't want to be alarmed here. I don't want to alarm you here, Mr. Kirby, but that array of items that we got inside of Ice Palace, you know what is in logic now?
What are you getting at, Mr. Rick?
That book that we can get off the mountain means the desert is accessible.
Oh, that's true. Okay, you said Ice Palace. You meant Palace of Darkness, I'm guessing.
I'm sorry, that's what I meant to say is Palace of Darkness.
I was like, we already went over the mushroom, Rick.
Just 20 rupees, and Sahaswala gets the How Do You Do bomb package right there. As DT now is inside of Swamp Palace. So Fred is going to go ahead and check the pyramid into Catfish, so that's going to negate potential time savings that he could have had up on DT. So DT currently in the exploration lead right now, as you will.
Yeah, and you know, if Fred does Fred is going to catfish, you know, that the closest thing to the catfish in terms of dungeons would be Ice Palace, which, you know,
Oh, good point. Yeah, he could mirror there and go into the whirlpool.
Yeah, which is, you know, pretty nifty routing that he'll be able to use in that fashion. But as we unfortunately learned from DT's side already, not really anything of note in Ice Palace. So that is not going to really gain Fred any major time. But, you know, it is nifty to kind of use that whirlpool. I've always been fond of trying to route catfish in with the Ice Palace entrance because of that.
And that's how you're supposed to do it in no major glitches, is to mirror from catfish after you get the Quake, go over to Zora, get the flippers, and then go into that whirlpool to go into Ice Palace. Fred's going to reload on a potion here while he's in the Vincendi, and then continue on his tour towards Catfish as DT gets ready to pull off yet another thing that we have discovered over the past year and a half in this game. We call this Diver Down.
Folks, do you hate drowning the key in Swamp Palace? Well, here's a trick
I do.
Here's a trick you can do to not have that happen anymore. Just make sure you have the tools to do it.
And the tools you need to do it is either the Cane of Samaria or bombs.
So here we go, back to Fred. Indeed, he is using the whirlpool to get to Ice Palace, which will likely be his next dungeon adventure. So, yeah, it does make me curious on what that mushroom is going to end up giving us, because, you know, that is going to be something that is going to be on the table for a while. I'm assuming DT is going to be focused mainly on crystal clearing at this point, so who knows when that's going to get turned in necessarily.
Nothing on left side swamp, but they were both items.
Okay, well, it is something if Fred does choose to skip left side. You'll know that there's two items over there, so probably not something you'd want to skip when you're still looking for stuff.
This race is still too far away to declare somebody in the lead. Because we don't know how this seed is going to turn out. Fred does have Tower of Hera completed, but he did leave one item behind because he did Herapa, and there was an item in that big chest.
This is true, and if you know, if DT kind of plays his cards correctly and ends up basically doing Tower of Hera last, he'll be like right there in front of Ganon's tower as soon as he finishes that dungeon. So he could end up working to DT's benefit by doing it later.
I think if DT doesn't get anything inside of the Swamp Palace, and we haven't seen anything in here just yet, the next play is up to the mountain for DT. Yeah. He's going to be able to full clear this mountain in one go, depending on what we can do with the Turtle Rock. Obviously, the ice rod pending, but we've seen way too many seeds where the ice rod has turned up to be in Turtle Rock itself.
Yep, this is very true. That is honestly not a bad place to go looking for the ice rod, if I'm being honest.
Alright, Argus fight coming up here for DT. Pull off the puffs, and if you're able to do a Master Sword spin, you can go ahead and take care of those puffs without much of a trouble here. He's just going to go with slashing technique at this point. Doesn't want to lose control of this fight, because those puffs, or Argus itself, if they hit you, it's 2 hearts gone, and this fight can go south in a hurry. And that's a nice quadruple Fire Rod Blast to take care of Argus. Now, did we find both the map and the compass?
I want to say we did, but we'll see what happens with DT here, just to verify.
And that is the big question right there, because if there's an item in that big chest, and there is an item in that big chest, DT is going back in.
Yeah, I thought we did found both of them. And yeah, this is like what I said earlier. DT does not really like leaving items behind.
Especially when it turns out to be that one item that you need. And if you were thorough for a while and then turn out not to be thorough. When these items start to dry up, you start to panic about that one item you left behind.
Yeah.
And this time it's just a piece of heart, but security blanket right there for DT. So while DT's making his way over here, he's going to check to see what we have inside of K45 since he did not do that in the earlier route. So it does look like that DT's game plan might actually take him over towards Skull Woods, which he has not been into. He has not seen the two items inside of there.
Yeah, and I do kind of like this because, you know, he didn't have the mirror or the mitts when he did the left side of the Dark World earlier. So now, you know, in addition to moving up to Skull Woods, he's going to be able to take care of this. He's going to be able to take care of most of the blacksmith chain as well. So he's being, again, very, very thorough and, you know, in a sense, combining one major check of the Skull Woods dungeon with a bunch of these kind of smaller things along the way. That's really excellent routing, I think.
Yeah, I think he's gonna check this breadsmith here now. Also, hammer pegs, and also because we got the powder, the magic bat. There's a check that we hadn't checked earlier. And people in chat were making a mention about this. They were surprised that none of these runners checked it, but Fred is heading there right now.
That's true. A hobo has not been checked, so... Now, I believe...
And it's just a red rupee, and Fred will give him a bomb present for his reward.
Skull Woods is the other 5-6 crystal, right?
Yes, indeed. No, it's not. Turtle Rock is. Turtle Rock is.
Turtle Rock, okay.
Yep. So we don't even have the tools, or we may have the tools, depending on whether or not, A, we can get in there, and B, where the ice rod is. Fred's back up the mountain.
Okay. Basically what I was hinting there is, like, you know, DT is probably maybe going to combine Hobo with the Pyramid Fairy, I'd imagine.
That's a possibility, yeah. So Fred gets the book, and he's going to be able to check another check up here on the mountain as well with this ether tablet. And with this ether tablet, we find that the item is 20 rupees. And DT's passing by the purple chest right now because he has Skull Woods on his mind. He's going to get the lamp in here, but he's not going to get the ice rod.
You know, honestly, lamp's not a terrible thing to find in here. Like, I mean, obviously.
You know what a terrible thing to find is?
What?
Dead rocks.
Well, yeah. I mean, no one wants to find those.
Fred getting very badly dead rocked over here on the left-hand side of your screen. As we see DT in here. He will be the first one done with this dungeon. And, oh, he doesn't have the book. Never mind. I was going to say he was going to give us the first pedestal knowledge of this seed. But, nope, no book. No info. Ether is what we need to get into Turtle Rock.
Okay, well, that is another item we need to add to our kind of go mode index here. Still need to know the Meyer information, obviously. That could end up surprising us and being bombos for all we know.
DT has not been up the mountain at all, as Fred gives us the look over here at Hookshot Cave. And so far, nothing, and nothing.
As I was saying earlier, even though the lamp itself, you know, won't necessarily give us any progression right now, I think it will be kind of good, kind of safe knowledge for DT because he, you know, all the stuff in Palace of Darkness was essentially out of logic, so he has that kind of information now.
If I'm Fred right now, I'm heading to Skull Woods, and I'm checking that pedestal after I'm done with Skull Woods. He's got nothing on this mountain, and I think DT is going to be coming up this mountain as well right after he's done with this, because that's where the bulk of the items are. But first, Fred's going to check the King's Tomb, which we didn't get a chance to check and look at earlier. And King's Tomb has not a piece to this puzzle, 10 arrows there.
Yeah, kind of focusing on the pedestal right now is honestly not a bad thing for Fred to do at this point, because our last pendant is Desert Palace, and the book would get us access to Desert Palace. So, you know, it's kind of screaming like, there is something that could be on this pedestal. So take care of a crystal along the way, check that pedestal, see what's going on there.
Yeah.
And, that could be the next path here.
And I think really for Fred here is that's why he's doing this over going to Swamp Palace at this point, because then he knows exactly what he needs to do, what he needs to get go mode. Now, of course, the Fluke could throw a kibosh in this because we will never find out what we need for the Mired Medallion until after we get the Fluke. So there's that aspect too.
Yeah, this is true. But yeah, that's what's making this race, I think, very interesting, is that while it does seem like DT does have kind of a bit of a lead right now, Fred's still using his routing to his advantage here and his knowledge that he's gained through this seed so far. So
Absolutely.
He's doing a great job kind of sticking in this and, could actually manage to swing this in the other direction if he finds the right items and finds the right chain here.
And honestly, I don't really know if who's in the lead at this point, because it comes down to a lot of factors still. There's the lamp for DT.
Yeah.
He's about to get the second and final item of the Skull Woods here. And again, maybe DT does the North Dark World stuff just to make sure he doesn't orphan off those locations, because you mentioned that he's been very, very thorough so far, and that lack of a save and quit kind of tells me that he is going to at least find out what's on Bumper Ledge and then also find out what's in Graveyard Ledge before he wraps up this route.
Oh yeah, and probably also King's Tomb as well.
Yeah, you're right. As at the 59-minute mark, we welcome a new audience here. Welcoming everyone coming in here from SpeedGaming 2. This is Game 2 of this winner's bracket series between Fred and In the Name of DT. Fred with a 1-0 series lead. A win here for Fred will put him into the bracket round. DT hoping to stay alive, at least in this round, because Tam is lurking down there in the bottom part of this bracket and could make things very, very interesting, as we find out 3 bombs is on the Graveyard Ledge, as Fred is facing off against Mothula here in Skull Woods. Nice finish.
Yeah, it looks like he only got hit once during that whole fight, so was able to kind of keep his cool and stay focused on getting those hits in and avoiding all those obstacles. Gets his 4th crystal. So we are actually tied in crystals again.
Yeah, we are. The interesting thing is the one crystal that's different for each of these runners. Swamp Palace for DT, which is a long dungeon, and Hera, which really isn't that long of a dungeon. But here we go. We've got 2 pendants in our arsenal for both of these runners. Here's the big question. What is on this pedestal? This will give you 10 shots with your bow. It is not required. It is just 10 arrows.
10 shots with their bow. Fred gives them 2 bomb explosions and a 3rd one. So,
well, the 3rd one was to get away from the portal.
Well, okay. I still think he did that just to blow things up too.
Decent play right there by Fred, by the way, just to use that bomb to walk over the portal.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So he can go into this one here and make his way, and I think this for Fred is going to be the Breadsmith chain. And now don't forget DT orphaned the purple chest because of the way he routed things. So that could come into play. Now, if that purple chest has a piece of this puzzle, then that could be key here for Fred, but we'll see what happens here. Also, this is setting up Fred for what will be a trip into Swamp Palace after he's done with the purple chest.
I think at the very least for DT's routing here, he's at least going to have, like, the one item that he's going to be getting up here on the mountain will be the book. So
yeah,
he can route in the pedestal check down to the purple chest and still make his way to desert. So it's not all bad for DT.
No, not at all. But I'm just thinking of one of those scenarios, because you mentioned how DT is thorough and you don't want to have that one loose square turn into the problem. That could become a problem for DT if that purple chest is something and he doesn't route it back in.
Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree with that.
There's also that one other caveat. There's an item in that big chest of Hera.
That's true, yeah.
That's going to be a last location for Fred. If it's an item that we need for this go mode, DT's going to get it. Fred's going to be behind.
Oh yeah, that is true, and that is a good point too, because yeah, Fred was up here on the mountain. He had a chance to check that really quick. He decided not to.
This is why we cannot call this race. We cannot say one person's in the lead at this point.
Nope, not at all.
So I don't know if DT was trying to set up his the Herapod there, but since he went downstairs, he's just going to go ahead and wait out the time right here. And while he's dealing with this, maybe he can throw on some good Rush here and enjoy some good tunes.
Oh, that's surely what he's doing right now. I can confirm that.
Well, you gotta enjoy your time while you're playing Randomizer.
Yeah, you do.
Answering a question in the chat, did Fred have a fire source going into Hera? No, he did not, which is why he did not go back in for the big key. We have seen Dark Death Mountain by way of Fred. There's nothing up here. That book is the only thing that we get as far as progression is concerned that we know of. Again, this big chest that DT is going to be able to check for us could come into play as Fred leaves behind the purple chest, because we don't need to have that purple chest with us when we mirror immediately. And here comes DT to do the Herapod this time around. Gets it on the third try. Good job. Okay, we've got two very important checks coming up here. Fred over here on the left, checking the purple chest. DT checking the big chest. 10 arrows. Nothing in the purple chest. And bug catching net. Nothing in the big chest there. Progression's got to be desert or... oh my goodness, Agina. We haven't checked Agina yet. Or this Bombos tablet.
Agina, another one of those Sphere 1 locations. All you need is bombs. Oh, sorry.
We haven't even checked that mushroom yet. I was just thinking of that.
Yeah, Agina, Sphere 1 location, one of the first things you can check once you leave the escape sequence. All you need is bombs to open it up.
Okay, Fred is checking here, thinking about his route. He's going to actually go over here to the desert area. This is an interesting decision over Swamp. Ether!
Ether, that is our...
oh my!
That is our Turtle Rock access right there.
Oh boy. That's a spicy meatball there for Fred. As DT makes his way over here to the right-hand side. And Fred continues to go through this desert. Be sure to follow these runners. This has been a fun series so far. Game 1 was close. This game here feels close for now. Until something happens soon. TM. DT getting the news that the ether is required. Right, getting the big key right here. Half magic, not a bad item to find here. Slim, where do you think this ice rod is?
I mean, you mentioned this earlier. There have been so many seeds where Ice Rod is in Turtle Rock, or at least blocked behind something you get in Turtle Rock. You know, I think Turtle Rock is the next place to go at this point, regardless of whether it's there or not.
Second item is going to be on Lamo here in Desert. That is icky. Oh, do you continue with this? This seed is awful.
I mean, there could have been a hook shot or flippers on pedestal, so...
oh, yeah. And then we find 4 required items.
In Palace of Darkness.
In Palace of Darkness. Oh, my goodness. And that's a recap. If you want to see where the treasure trove of items in this seed were, look at the Palace of Darkness. We got the Mitts, the Mirror, the Cane of Samaria, and the Fire Rod.
Yep, all 4 really, really, really good items and items that were needed to beat this game.
Honestly, I think if DT's just gonna, I think DT at this point, knowing that he doesn't know this at this point, but second item potentially on Lambo might just go ahead and blind pull the pedestal if he doesn't find anything.
Right.
But here we go. Lambo coming up next here for Fred. DT diving into swamp or whatever this cave is. I don't even know what the cave is here in commentary. That spiral cave.
I guess it just warps your mind into a spiral at that point.
Yes, it does. Boomerang. And the red one at that. And Fred is going to save and quick because he doesn't need that pendant at all. He doesn't have going to save and quit, but he's going to mirror.
Yeah, that's true. He knows that that pendant's not going to give him anything on the pedestal. He checked right before he came here.
How bad do you think these runners are going to feel if we find out that the flute is on Agina?
Well, we do have something interesting right here. It looks like DT is still going to be orphaning that purple chest, actually going straight to desert.
Oh god, Fred throws an arrow. He doesn't want to spend that last bomb. DT's going to go ahead and check the bombos here. Does he get the ether coin and just leave? I don't know how you feel about this seed after diving a pendant dungeon to get nothing out of it. Oh, that's why Fred was routing this the way he did. So now we can go back into the portal and head on over here to Swamp Palace.
Well, I mean, in his defense, like, not only is it, 6 items in here, but it's also one of the 5-6 crystals as well. So
I mean, it's something that he needed to do. I just didn't even think of this routing.
Yeah, it's actually really hands-on. Like, Fred definitely knows a lot about this game. I can see that just in the way he's routed some of these things in.
Both of these runners have been runners in the Link to the Past randomizer since the first tournament back in 2017.
Yep.
I actually need to check something real fast. I'll be right with you. You go ahead and talk about this one for just a moment here, Mr. Kirby.
Okay, well, right now we are pretty much seeing what we've already seen from both the runners. Are just kind of doing things that the other runners already done. Fred going through Swamp Palace, In the Name of DT going through Desert. Just a reminder that this is Game 2 of this Best of 3 series. Fred was able to take Game 1. If he gets another win today, he will be moving on to the bracket stage of this competition. In the Name of DT, if he takes a win here, he will force a Game 3 to basically win that same opportunity. So a lot is on the line here. If no one does move on from this series, they will have one more chance to move in the brackets in the true finals game of this Group I, where they'll be facing Tam, another very, very strong randomizer player. Finished, I believe, in the second quartile of the qualifiers, so they will have a very, very tricky match ahead of them.
Both of these runners back in 2017 made it into the bracket stage of the tournament. Fred was in my group, I remember that. He ended up going against Andy, and 4H would be the Andy we're speaking of here, ended up losing to him in the round of 32. In the Name of DT in that tournament fell to Willard J. Bradley, his now teammate in the league.
So yeah, a lot of history with these runners, especially in this particular tournament. I definitely recognize both of these names from the first tournament as well. I didn't do any commentary or racing in that tournament, but did watch a lot of matches. So 2 names I am very familiar with in this particular community.
2017. Just amazing. Version 18, both of these runners in that tournament. Back when we had 105 people in that tournament. And now we're dealing with tournaments that get 300 plus people in it. As DT finishes off against the Lambo. May see a blind ped pull for him, but we'll see. I think DT now has the lead in this race.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, at this point, the only two things I think are available for DT right now are, again, pulling the pedestal and that purple chest. Also Agena, but we're going to get that right now. So, you know, he's going to be more pressured to head into Turtle Rock, I think, at this point. And I really got to think that's where our progression is. I don't think it can be anywhere else.
It can't be anywhere else. With this entire overworld has been combed at this point, except for Spike Cave. And this seed has done us no favors to actually get us into Spike Cave at this point. So if DT goes up to the mountain, if he starts at the mountain cave, he's going to have an advantage, and that's exactly where he is going as Fred makes his way towards the back. So DT's going to have probably about a minute advantage on Fred at this point.
That is true, but Rick, there is one other thing I do want to kind of call your attention to that I just realized.
I am not realizing that.
I wonder what that mushroom turn-in would be.
Oh, that's right. That is the other overworld item that we have yet to see.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Fred having a little issue with Diver Down, but finally gets it as DT makes his way through Paradox Cave to get on up here. Turtle Rock. 5 items inside. We are still lacking a minimum of 2 items for Go Mode. That Bombos could still be required.
Yep, it really could be.
Game number 2 between these two. What a fantastic game number 2 it has been so far. And I've been quite a pleasure to be joined by Slim Kirby for this match here on SpeedGaming 4. Here we go. It's Turtle Rock time.
That's right. With the items we have right now, we can make it all the way to Laser Bridge. Now, we can't finish this dungeon until we find the Ice Rod. The Ice Rod could be in here. What else could be in here? The Flute, which could take us to Misery Mire to find the Ice Rod.
I think if you are one of these, I think if you're one of these 2 runners, you're thinking at this point, you're going to go all the way to Laser Bridge either way. And if you get the Flute here, okay, you're still going to Laser Bridge. But then you're going to save your portal on Laser Bridge.
Yeah, that would be the thing to do for sure.
Fred having a rougher Argus. DT definitely had a much better Argus than Fred did. As we get ourselves the big key and the compass here, so that means chain chomps are going to be a key. Fred going to go ahead and check this big chest as well. Then he will be done, and he'll be heading up the mountain. He's got nowhere else to check besides that mushroom. What if he checks that mushroom and that's the Ice Rod? That would give Fred the big advantage here. We'll see how that goes. This is, again, going to be a key. We already know it's going to have to be a key in order to progress further into this dungeon. Save and quit for Fred. He's heading to the mountain. Oh, no, he's not. Mushroom check-in.
Oh boy, if you're rooting for Fred, this could be a huge pivotal moment in this seed.
Still high stakes in this game number 2. DT checking laser, or rather lava chest. It's just the map.
Mushroom has been turned in.
Here we go. Fred checking in the mushroom. The mushroom leads to a heart container.
Okay, I think you said it best earlier. I think the advantage purely goes to DT right now. The entire overworld has been checked. We're gonna find our next progression here in Turtle Rock.
Again, unless it turns out to be that we should have done the spike cave earlier, but this game has given us no reason to check that without a burner or a magic cape, as DT checks Mimic Cave. Fred probably now about like 3 minutes behind. And don't forget, these two went different directions in Ganon's Tower in game number 1. As Fred gets deadrocked yet again, second time around. Every second is going to count right now. Tempered sword in the big chest.
Of course, both runners well versed in doing Master Sword Silverless for this tourney, I imagine. Finding Tempered Sword will definitely be a huge sigh of relief. Don't have to worry about doing as many spins, and just in general having just the ability to just strike your sword at Ganon to begin with.
So here we go. This is going to be Laser Bridge coming up here. There's going to be one small key guaranteed. I believe we've already found both the map and the compass, so the other 3 are going to be items. That Tempered Sword was the first item we found in this dungeon.
That's interesting.
Laser Bridge, in the name of DT. First check coming right up here is a heart container. Second chest, there's the flute. Third check, small key. Last chance for the laser, or rather Ice Rod to be here, and it's not. We have to take that flute on out of here. We can't do the save the portal because of the fact that we cannot flute away from here. That's right.
Yeah.
Unless we decide we're going to take a long, painful, agonizing death in the overworld. Which actually is possible, but still would take quite a while.
Yeah.
All right, DT now getting ready to activate the flute. Now, would it be nice if the song tune here with the Neil Peart sprite was a Rush song as opposed to the normal theme?
Yeah, really. Maybe in a future randomizer update. Although,
I mean, Fred is able to make custom songs in Z1. I mean, why not do it for Link to the Past?
yeah, for sure.
Put on Spirit on the radio rather, for that Rush song. Or actually, Fly By Night, I guess, would be the best one for this situation here. DT actually is going to do something first before he adds on over to Misery Mire. Ladies and gentlemen, you wanted a ped pull, right?
I mean, that's all I see Twitch chat talking about sometimes. So, I mean, this is what they want. So DT's giving them exactly what they want.
Ooh, Fred taking the death, that's going to slow him down. That's unfortunate. DT getting the 10 arrows. Not today.
So at this point, it's heavily likely that we do have our Mire medallion at this point. But even if we don't, it's going to be either on the front steps of Mire or, again, on the mushroom location that we keep talking about. And oh wait, no, it's not. We know that's not it. But either way, it's going to be here. If the Mire medallion is here.
That death there for Fred probably, I think, cements this one right now, as it is Ether to get into Misery Mire. But is it going to be a go mode Mire? Not just yet. But I think DT is going to check checkerboard first to see whether or not he's going to be in go mode as he swims on over here towards the upper right portion of the Misery Mire area.
We check checkerboard cave, and we have the
Oh
cave.
my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, Spike Cave, here we go.
After Mire.
Two items inside of this Misery Mire, but it is a dungeon that you do need to do. Fred still needing to be a little careful. Took a little bit of damage. Surprised he didn't choose to do the anti-fairy in the bottom right pot to refill his health as DT gets ready to go into this Misery Mire.
And as pointed out in chat, I believe in the game 1 of this series, Go mode was also found in Spike Cave.
That's
in that
right.
first game, so
It was Quake in that Spike Cave. In game number 1, Fred, you really want to have that fairy with only 4 hearts remaining. Good bow strats there from DT in the Mire 1. Fred still not getting that fairy. 300 rupees, oh my goodness, that's item 1.
So we are literally on a coin flip right now of Go mode once again being in Spike Cave for this series.
I think Fred feels like he has to hurry right now. I think he feels pressured. That depth probably made him have to turn up the jets. We'll see how this goes. I don't think he can afford another death at this point. Is that cape to lead us to the ice rod, or is the ice rod here? I'm actually surprised that DT is not going straight to Vitreous at this point. Haven't gotten the big key in that spike chest. Fred making his way to Laser Bridge, 3 hearts remaining, so he's going to, looks like he's doing safety door, but needs to be careful again. See how this goes. DT about ready to get to the big chest of this Misery Mire. There's the ice rod right there. So at 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 12 seconds in the name of DT is the first of these 2 runners into
Go mode.
That's right. A nice frosty go mode on a seed that made you have to go all the way to Laser Bridge to get that flute. Then
leave Turtle Rock to go
come on
all the way
here,
back.
yeah.
Go all the way to Mire to find the ice rod to complete it.
This seed doing everything in its power to be as rude as it could be. DT is in the driver's seat right now, and it looks like Fred is going to be doing the death warp, and he's going to be saving the portal, but I don't think that's going to be enough time for Fred at this point.
Yeah, I don't think it is either. But you know, we'll still play this, watch this play out, see how it does.
Yeah, because I think Fred probably saves maybe a minute by doing that, but it's not going to be enough here. This could still come down to a left versus right, but we'll see what happens. DT about ready to face off against Vitreous. Has the magic powder out. He's going to powder the anti-fairy before he goes up against Vitreous, and then it's going to be the NMG fight against it, and we know DT with his sub 90 in this game can pull off a good Vitreous fight with 13 hearts. Got the bow out as well. Here we go. Spin number 1. Spin. No, he didn't get it. Spin number 2. There we go. Only lost a few hearts here. Needs to be getting a little careful Yeah, he's now going to back up here and arrow off the remainings there, and 8 more arrows to the eyeball, and then back to Turtle Rock to finish off this seed.
Yeah, and one thing I really want to point out here is, I mean, look at all of what both of our runners has honestly done at this point, and look at the timers right now. Like, we're not even 90 minutes into the seed, and we've pretty much, like, full cleared the game, except for, again, the Turtle Rock boss and Pyramid Fairy and Spike Cave.
You know what the funny thing is, Slim?
What?
At the beginning of this seed, I noted to these two runners that it would be 100 minutes before they're back here. This could be a 140 seed. I could have gotten that prediction correctly. Of course, Ganon's Tower still to determine that one. Where's the big key there? We are still not on that big key guessing game. But all DT needs to do is backtrack through Turtle Rock and get to Trinux. Now, one thing I do want to know here, Fred's path back is not necessarily going to be an easy one. Because, yeah, he did save the portal, or at least he's got the process to saving the portal right now, but that means Fred, after he is done here, needs to leave Misery Mire, spend some seconds to take that death.
Yeah. Thankfully, with it being the hard item pool, we don't have any mail upgrades, so taking a death in the Misery Mire area is not going to take too long.
He's just going to go ahead and hug that Myrtle Dactyl a few times.
Yeah.
And Fred is going to continue to search out this dungeon. You will find that ice rod coming up in the big chest, coming up in just a few. Right now, it's looking good for us to see a Game 3.
Yep, it is. Definitely is.
This has been a really good series between these two runners. I'm looking forward to a Game 3 if it does happen. Obviously, this game still needs to wrap up, but we'll see how it goes. As Fred making his way over here to the right-hand side, in about 45 seconds from now, he will have the go mode. As DT finishes off with these pokies not giving him the business, or these pokies are giving him the business. Maybe that's the payback for the RNG that he had in his sub-90 run.
Yeah, probably.
He had the perfect pattern in that sub-90 run. All right, nope. Fred's heading right straight for the big chest.
Well, as we hit the 90-minute mark of this seed, and Fred is also now in go mode. This will not be a sub-90 seed for DT this time, but still, he definitely cleared so much more of the game than he had to in his sub-90 NMG time.
These two runners are fantastic runners. I've gotten to know them for a long, long time. Got to meet them both. Fred over at SG Lime 2019, In the Name of DT at AGDQ 2019, as well as 2020. They're fantastic people to follow. Please follow them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very kind, very friendly, very funny individuals. Always a joy to stop in at their stream channels whenever they're streaming. They're just very, very welcoming, very kind, and just very nice personalities. So definitely consider giving them a check out.
DT with a very solid Trinix bite here. And now, spin 1-2, takes a hit. Thankfully that wasn't a death. But with that kill, Trinix is down. DT is going to be the first one into Ganon's Tower. Oh god, there's the Can of Burna. Thanks a lot, game. Alright, Slim Kirby, we are going to be doing a guessing game here with people picking numbers in the chat. Now, hold on just a second. Hold on. We need to do a command for this first, right?
I believe so, yes. That's usually how it works.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Get set, go! Ladies and gentlemen, there are 22 possibilities in Ganon's Tower and where the big key can be. Pick a number between 1 and 22 and tell us where you believe that the big key is going to be. Slim, I'm going to say it's going to be in number 20 today. Number 20.
Wow, you really want it to come down to, you know, a potential right versus left side, don't you?
I would like to say 22, but I don't want to be that evil.
That's fair. Okay, well, I'm going to go with my, well, it's over now, by the way, but I'm going to go with my go-to 8. And looks like DT is once again, as he did in Game 1, going to be sticking to the left side.
Over here, as DT got closer to the heart there with that heart container in that second chest, number 3 is a key. Over here to the left side. Now, this race is not done and over with, depending on where this big key is. Because we did see Fred in Game 1 go right-hand side. And I know DT wasn't necessarily happy about the fact that it was left versus right, but of course, Fred had a little bit of a lead over DT going into GT at that stage. Number 7, nothing. There's Fred into the portal, back into the laser bridge. So factor in Fred's probably 2 minutes difference at this point.
Yeah, this is why I really love the saving the portal for Turtle Rock. I think it's I think it not only is it like a really cool application of game knowledge with how the portals work and everything, but yeah, it really does just save a lot of time going, you know, instead of going back through all of Turtle Rock again, as Fred is pretty much entering the Trinex fight in just a few seconds here.
DT getting ready to check number 9. As Fred does the Trinex fight, 20 rupees there. We don't know what that 20 represents. We're full of life for DT with 14 hearts. All right. There we go. Trinex is down to stage 2 for Fred as DT gets ready to go into the rando room. And there's a small key. The big key's over here. It's going to be number 13 right there. If there's a small key in rando room, it's guaranteed that it's going to be in that room.
Okay, well, there you go. With that, DT has everything he needs to finish this seed. All he has to do is just make the climb through Ganon's Tower, get through a lot of these destroy enemy rooms, fight a couple mini bosses along the way, and then face off against Agate 2, and then the big pig himself, Ganon.
Cheyenne Obi, congratulations on picking number 13. And therefore getting your name put onto the leaderboard with those points here for the big key guessing game. Congratulations. As Fred makes his way on over, this time right versus left. If Fred does go full right, that will give DT a padded lead here. As we know, he's not going to get anything there. So if this result sticks, get your butts ready for a game 3. And it's, what, Thursday night, right?
I believe so, yeah.
These two taking the night off tomorrow night to go ahead and collect their thoughts. Probably listen to this commentary back. Hi, DT. Hi, Fred.
Hey, guys.
There's the right-hand side play for Fred again. This will not pay out for him this time around, just like it did in game number 1, but Fred has no way of knowing this. But even if he didn't make this play, he would still be behind DT at this stage.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
DT with some good execution right now. Spinning around. Nice first hit on their Lammo is down. That's a good, solid Lammo fight there from In the Name of DT. 5 hearts remain. Does have the magic powder. Here we go, 5th floor.
We also did find the remaining medallion that we've been looking for. We do find Bombos here in Ganon's Tower, but of course that will not be necessary.
DT over here Final room with the witch robes, dispatches of them. They can be nasty. 4 hearts damage.
Definitely.
DT also making sure here in this next room that he takes care of some business, lighting up these torches, but more importantly, making sure that he doesn't cause a despawn. We've already seen a despawn earlier today in this tournament. It's not going to happen this time around, though.
Last torch rooms for DT as he makes himself into the final few rooms of the tower.
Getting the magic powder ready to powder the anti-fairy and the bunny beam as well. Chooses not to grab that second fairy. It's alright, it's only going to be 2 hearts to fill up for him right there. Moldorm 2-time.
Very nice, wow.
Absolutely, yeah. Perfect, good setup there for Moldorm. Fred trying to use the boomerang to his advantage. Having a little difficulty with it. Finally gets it. But DT now getting up to the 7th floor while Fred is still trying to find where this big key is.
We enter the Aga 2 fight for In the Name of DT.
And let me tell you, both of these runners are sweating at this point. They dug Thieves Town for no reason. DT pulled the pedestal for no reason. They both cleared Pendant Desert Palace for no reason, except for Half Magic, which was an alright find. However, DT's in the lead here, just has to clench out this remainder of this fight, not hold off to his, or not let his emotions get the best of him. And I do have to shout out here that DT wrecked his ability to get the 2-1-1-2 with his Aga 2 fight, but also wrecked his ability to get the 2-1-1-2 with his rupee count.
Wow.
So we'll just have to pay homage to Rush by moving pictures. Like, for instance, there's Neil Peart moving into the picture right now. See what I did there?
Yes, that was clever.
As we get more hot air balloon facts, and I think DT wanted to see whether or not that was true. We'll have to ask him whether or not he found out if that was true when he did commentary with fcoughlin for my match against Technolink back on Sunday. Anyways, Cape Strats here for DT. He's going to be fine. No issues here. Get us to stage 3. Hug the wall here so you don't drain any more of your cape while you're protecting yourself against the bats. 1 part of the floor down. Speaking of subdivisions, there goes the floor. 3. And 4. Now 12 spins to get DT to force a game 3 in this series. Spin number 1 is perfectly fine over here to the top right hand corner. Spin number 2, bottom left corner, but ran out of time. Gets the fire rod shot over there. Does barely miss on that spin. Gets that spin taken care of. That's 3. Over the top corner for 4. Now lights up the torch. Gets that in time. That's 5. Over the top left corner. Didn't get that in time. 6 so far for DT. Just got to make sure his nerves continue to be strong. There's another hit over there, and we'll get another double out of this cycle before lighting that torch once again. There's a nice setup there for DT. There's a possible triple cycle right there for DT.
He just needs 1 more.
That's it right there. And the working man of In the Name of DT is going to force a game 3 in the Group I winner bracket. Get your GGs in the chat here to honor Neil Peart and In the Name of DT, who will cross the finish line in first here in this game 2.
And like we said, that will force a game 3 of this series. I believe game 3 will be on Thursday at the same time as this game. So very consistent to keep all the timings the same here. Yep, GG to DT.
So Fred is going to go ahead and finish off this seed. And we have In the Name of DT here with us, but we'll continue to keep an eye on Fred as he does some damage against the Moldorm 2. And about ready to dispense his 2 bombs against the chest. There's 1 and 2. Heading in here to the final room of the 6th floor. And Slim, while Fred is getting ready to face off against Daga 2, we got some more matches coming up here on the SpeedGaming Network tonight and into tomorrow, don't we?
Yeah, we sure do. This is the second week of the group stage. Currently working on kind of the second round games at this current point. So there's plenty of games on the schedule for the rest of this week and, of course, next week as we determine what our top 64 will be for the bracket stage.
Nice 3-2-1 there for Fred on Aga 2.
Yeah, very, very nicely done.
And yep, coming up on game number 3 between these two. Fred versus DT, Thursday night, 9:10 p.m. Eastern Time.
One will make it to brackets. The other, well, still have a chance at brackets. They'll just have to make it through a very heated match against Tam on the lower side of this group.
Tam or Star X, either one of those two. And that was a very, very close match over there in the end there between Tam and Star X. If you hadn't checked out that match, go ahead and check it out during the spare time over on ALTTPR. So we're going to have a little bit of lag here for Fred because he did not get the Magic Cape because he was trying to hold on to his portal and down to 1 heart and uses up his blue potion just in time.
Yeah, that bat was literally about to bite a hole in his item pockets there.
Fred getting him into stage number 3 here. Gets the first spin off. Lights the torch before the torch goes out, so now he can start working on his silverless strats here. That's 2 spins and 3 spins. Gets ready to light the torch here for 4. Swings and misses. That's 4 now. Down to the bottom for 5. Now has to relight the torch. Gets it in time. That's 6. That will be 7 up here to the top left corner. That will be... Nope. Lost his spin.
Yeah, I don't think he got that either.
Down here to the bottom left. I think he's at 10. I think he's got 1 more to do. And that's it.
There it is.
So yeah, if you want more Link to the Past Randomizer action, we'll let you know where to go very, very shortly. As Fred crosses the finish line, and he has finished off with this seed.
Yep, with only about a 4 minute and 15 second difference between our two runners here. Very, very closely contested race, much like the first race that they did. These runners definitely put on quite the show, and it shows that they're both here in it to win it. That's for sure.
Oh, for certain, and be sure to follow both of them. They did a fantastic job. Great first 2 games of the series, and we will wait to see what happens in game number 3. As we welcome in both of our runners In the Name of DT and fcoughlin to the channel. Welcome both of you. GG's.
Great job there, DT. Whew, that was a
GG's, Fred. Shaking like the entire time on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Now, one thing I do want to ask here. You both dived Thieves Town. Got absolutely nothing in there. You both dived Desert Palace. Only thing you got up there was half magic, and that wasn't logically needed. What went through your mind when that came up empty for both of you?
I'll start with Desert because I think that one's actually a bit easier. Ether was on the ledge, so even though the dungeon itself didn't have anything, Ether was required, and
right.
Landmo had a second item, so I was like, whatever. I'm just gonna go for it because I don't want to have to come back. I don't have quick access to it right now. It could be the flute.
Pretty much the same thing here. I was looking for an ice rod or the flute at that point, and said, if it turns out it's the ice rod, and I abort, or if it turns out it's the flute, and I abort and I go up to Turtle Rock and go do everything, and then I have to come all the way back through desert again to get that. Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
In my case, it's like, yeah, kind of need to do that.
The only difference at that point was the fact that Fred already knew that it was 10 arrows on the pedestal, whereas DT didn't have a clue about that. So really, Fred was able to nope out once the pendant fell, but that really wasn't much of a difference in the timing right there. But yeah, let's talk about that Palace of Darkness. For 110 rupees, you got 4 required items, Slim.
That's right. Titan's Myth, Mirrors, Cana Samaria, and Fire Rod. You know, both of us here in the booth were wondering, like, you know, you're getting a lot of value from this dungeon. Do you stick around and just finish it out? And sure enough, both of you did manage to pull all 4 items. What were your thoughts on that incredibly stacked Palace of Darkness?
I was absolutely speechless. Like, it was enough when I realized Helma had 1 more item, and between the Mitts and Mirror and Samaria, like, those alone at the time didn't really get me any new crystal dungeons. So I was like, well, I either do this for an item and it's nothing, and I anticipate it to be nothing, or I go poke around somewhere else kind of slowly. So I just figured go for that, go for Green Pendant.
And then down comes the Fire Rod, and oh my goodness.
Yeah, suddenly there's Skull Woods, there's... Well, I guess Mirror gave swamp access, but yeah, Fire Rod was like, there's Skull Woods, there's Ice Palace. So, like, it was... I mean, obviously the right play, but like, it was like, wow, this is a green light right now, let's just move.
Fred, earlier in this seed, you ended up going up to the Tower of Hera. In fact, well before DT ended up going up to the mountain. You didn't have a fire source. How much in the back of your mind were you worried about the contents of that big chest in Hera?
I was definitely worried at first, although then there was a little bit of time where it fell down because, okay, I clearly don't have a flute yet. You know, it was mid-seed. As I was starting to get down to those like last few locations, like, I don't have a flute yet. So I needed to have the lamp to get up there. Oh, shoot, that's probably not so good of a thing. I could be in trouble. But I just, you know, had to, at that point, since I made the early play, got up there, got that, I had to push it and hope that was gonna not be my ice rod or my flute. Got lucky, I guess, in a way there, because it wasn't, but the gambles were definitely having me shaken.
And all it was a
Bug net.
Now I'm going to turn to DT and ask the same question about that purple chest, because the way you routed it, you did the breadsmith chain into Skull Woods. How much were you worried about the contents of that purple chest?
A bit. It was a very deliberate decision to leave it behind, though, because I was routing from Swamp up to Skull Woods and doing what was in the area. So Smith's hammer pegs and magic bat made sense, but right that moment, it was a decision between take the purple chest back, take some time on that, or just go to Skull Woods where I know I need to go. So at that point, it was just, okay, I'll do Skull now, and if purple chest comes up, great. If not, oh well.
Now, I do want to turn to DT for this question. You lost game number 1. It was a close match, and then Fred went right in Ganon's tower, whereas you went left. Anything about that game number 1 that changed your mind for how you wanted to play out this game 2, or did you pull things to normal that you thought about doing game 1 didn't really change up your game plan?
I think with Randomizer being Randomizer, having one seed vary wildly to the next, I think changing up your strategy from game to game can be more harm than good. There's always things to be open about and to kind of pay attention to maybe make subtle changes throughout the game. But I kind of went into this one just thinking, okay, last night's a scratch. Tonight I'm just going to play my game.
And so, Fred, after going up to the mountain and walking up the mountain, when you finally went down to the dam, how many sons of a monkeys did you utter when you found the boots under the water?
Definitely was a son of a Mikey ordered at the time. I think I left a present there in the water to express my feelings towards those lovely shoes.
Oh, we saw your expressions of gratitude towards some of the NPCs and some of the things in this game. So much so that you actually spent a bomb on the sick kid with only one bomb remaining. So we thought maybe you're going to not necessarily be happy when you found out what was that race game, but it turned out not to be anything.
Yeah, no, I went and decided I was planning to buy bombs, and then the game provided. So I said, okay, thank you, and decided to roll with it.
All right, Game 3 coming up Thursday at 9 o'clock. What can we expect from you two?
I'm just going to hope for another good race.
I'm saying sheer utter panic.
That was last night and tonight. I don't want that again on Thursday.
I mean, we've had this for the first two. You can only imagine what we're going to get in round 3.
Let's just do a blitz mode and see what happens.
Sure, we'll go with that.
I'd rather do blitz mode than a true ice rod hunt.
I have never done one of those, Rick. I don't plan to. It does not sound enjoyable.
Exactly. Slim?
All I gotta say is just excellent race, you two. Very, very close race, not just this second game, but also the first game as well. Game 3 is going to be awesome. And I know we were talking about, while you guys were wrapping things up, around the 90-minute mark, we looked at all you guys had left, and it's like, wow, they really only just have, the Turtle Rock boss, and that's it. So the fact that you've covered so much ground and routed the entire overworld and all the dungeons in, the truly remarkable fashion you did is very, very impressive, seriously. All that stuff you cleared in such a short period of time, I think it's just a true testament that both of you guys know this game well, and you know your routing, you know your execution, and very, very lovely display tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm looking at the collection right on screen right now and just kind of chuckling. It's one off.
Yeah, just a one item difference between the two of you here. Fantastic seed here for the two of you. And, game number 3 is going to be wild. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be Thursday night, 9 o'clock. Of course, no restream information given at this point. We'll let you know if it does get a restream. You can check out the link to the past randomizer schedule to find out if there is going to be a restream. And DT, I hope you do enjoy the various Rush references we put into chat or put into commentary here for you in honor of Neil Peart, your sprite.
I can only imagine that you guys were just riding a little bit between the wheels, and it was a good time.
Yeah, I kind of ran out of a few song titles, but chat was helping out with the ability for us to come up with some good ones here. So let's enjoy the Game 3 when it comes around on Thursday. Be sure to give these two a follow. Once again, wonderful competitors, awesome friends. I enjoyed calling this race.
Yeah, same here. Truly a pleasure. So we'll again check in with that Game 3 later. There's still plenty of randomizer to go in just the remaining days of this week, and even this evening, if you're still up for it, there is actually going to be another race starting in probably about an hour from now on SpeedGaming 1. We have Sailor Nep versus Purdy Wong on just, again, the normal SpeedGaming channel. So stop by and check that out because it's going to be a very entertaining race as well.
Yeah, for those of you who are enjoying that late night rando, and of course we got some great races coming up tomorrow, including Dr. Marty O versus DataPled over on Speed Gaming, also Big Dunka versus Corride, and Shady Force versus 2C, and a whole bunch of other matches that are going to be coming your way here on the Speed Gaming networks, and of course many other matches that are just way too many to mention. Just be sure to keep up with that schedule. Watch these great runners. Follow these great runners as we get ready to narrow down this field from 128 down to 64. Looking forward to it, Slim. All right, let's go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you very much to LateBit for doing the tracking and clicking the buttons. And also thank you, by the way, to DT for checking Sahashrala's hut after doing Eastern Palace because we had a little bit of a tech delay there to prevent us from seeing it when Fred was in there.
And of course, thank you to all you lovely people out there for joining us today to watch this race back and enjoy all the thrills that came with this exciting finish here. And also, major thank you to you, Adirondack Rick, for joining me on this one. Always a pleasure to call these races with you and see all the silly randomizer action that can happen in these seeds.
I know you had this match here circled when the Group I was announced back during Dante's run a week and a half ago, and it turned out to be just as incredible as it turned out to be for the first two games. Again, Game 3 Thursday. Looking forward to it. All right, let's get on out of here. I'm Adirondack Rick. He's Slim Kirby. For the rest of the crew here on Speed Gaming, also for Late Bit, and also for our two runners, be sure to follow them. fcoughlin, in the name of DT. Again, great runners, great friends, and they're great channels to go ahead and follow. Let's get on out of here.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, DT.
I know this is a little unconventional as a runner, not a commentator. May I close this out quickly?
Well, I will go ahead and do that, but thank you all for joining us here on Speed Gaming 4. I'll turn the mic over here to In the Name of DT.
A little bit of a stretch, but pack up all those phantom cannons, shoulder that invisible load, keep on riding to the north and west dark world, haunting that wilderness road like a ghost rider. Have a good night, everybody.